Hello, hello. Welcome to Reading Time. My name's Time, and this week we're reading the story of Dr. Dolittle by Hugh Lofting. Let's get to reading. The story of Dr. Dolittle is a children's novel about a doctor named Dr. Dolittle. Now, Dr. Dolittle is a man who absolutely loves animals, so much so that he gets a bunch of exotic pets and ends up losing his job as a doctor because of them. However, he soon learns that animals talk in their own language and becomes an animal doctor. And because he can talk to animals, he becomes the best animal doctor in the world. In this specific story, the monkeys of Africa request that he come out to heal them as there is a sickness that is plaguing them. Dr. Dolittle is accompanied on this journey by some of his pets, including some who want to go back to Africa to stay there because they're from there. Each animal has its own personality, its own strengths and weaknesses, and they help Dr. Dolittle in different ways. Now, this book was a fun story, but I felt like there wasn't a whole lot of substance to the plot itself. It felt very quick-paced, which is typical for children's books, but this one felt even faster than normal. I also just wasn't fully invested in the concept of learning to speak the animal language, and as is the case with some of the other books we've read so far that are more whimsical, I just didn't enjoy it as much. As such, I am going to give this book 3 stars. It was a fine book, and I know that a lot of people probably do enjoy it. It just was not for me. But on the same note, I did not actively dislike it. There is some content to be aware of for this book. The first piece of content to be aware of is violence. At one point, the group encounters pirates, and these pirates have been known to threaten to kill people and to sink ships. And so there is a little bit of that in the book. There is also racism present in the book, although I actually read a copy that didn't have that in there. It had been edited, and I didn't know that until I had finished the book and read the afterword. So depending on which version of the book you get, there might be some racial slurs in there. In the version that I read, that was not present, but that is something to be aware of with this book. Reading level wise, I would put this at 3rd through 5th grade. I think those in that age range would enjoy the story. One idea that could be explored if you were to read this with younger readers is the idea of animals, and specifically either extinct animals or mythological animals. There is an animal in the story called the Push Me Pull You, which essentially is like a 2-headed llama. And obviously this animal isn't actually real, but in the book it is presented as a creature who has never before been seen by men, and as such is very unique and the only 2-headed creature to exist. Students could do their own research about unique or extinct animals, as well as mythological creatures, and do their own project or report on those animals. Students could also just do a report on a more common animal, but the introduction of this make-believe animal, I think, would be a fun transition into looking at other creatures and looking at maybe mythology. For the poster square for this week, we are along this side with a stethoscope for Dr. Dolittle. Let me know what you think about Dr. Dolittle down in the comments below. If you are not already, feel free to subscribe to the channel and follow me on Facebook or Instagram for updates about what I'm reading. And as always, have a marvelous week and a wonderful read.